Summer's fast approaching and some of you guys are fat as shit. You're gonna be swimming at the pool or the beach with your goddamn shirt on because you don't want people to see them titties you got. Let's fix that today. In this video, I will break down 3 best ways to get ripped this summer. How ripped you will get will depend on how fat you are right now. Right? If you a big whale, you may not get ripped by summer, but you can definitely lose a ton of weight between now and the summer. And that's gonna be great for you. But if you are just like a little fat, 10, 20 pounds of fat, and you wanna get shredded, this is the best video you're ever gonna watch on the subject. If you follow these steps, I promise you, you will get ripped this summer. And the last one is the most important one. Make sure you watch this video. If you can't watch a video about getting ripped, then you are destined to just be a fat boy indefinitely. And it's only gonna get worse. As you get older and older, you're gonna get fatter and fatter. And then you're gonna have to find another big fat mate with you. Then you're gonna have kids with each other and they gonna have childhood obesity. Kids gonna make fun of them because they fat. Then parent teacher conference, you and your fat ass wife gonna show up there and the kids gonna get made fun of because they got fat parents. Man, don't let that happen to you. I go to my son's school, kids wanna touch my muscles and I say, no, I'm not Drake. The first thing we need to do is you have to do the one thing that most people won't do. I hear tell me all the time, man, I've been trying to lose weight. I've been trying to get in shape. Nothing works. I've tried everything. No, nigga, you ain't did the one thing that will work. You have to start tracking your calories. You have to track your calories and your macros. This shit will work. I don't care if you're fucking paleo, vegan, carnivore, whatever. It's still calories in, calories out. To lose fat, you have to burn more calories than you consume. We need to track how many calories you're consuming. Now, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that, but first, I wanna show you this study. It was done by Duke University, and what they did was they had a bunch of fat boys track their calories for 3 months. They didn't give them no diet. They didn't tell them to do motherfucking snake diet, keto diet, nothing. They didn't even tell them to be in caloric deficit. They gave them zero plan, no instructions. Just say, hey, fat ass, just fucking track what you eat instead of putting anything in your mouth like a whore, the way you've been doing your whole life, fat boy. Guess what? After 3 months, on average, they lost 5 pounds, right? Some lost more, but on average, it was about 5 pounds. Now, 5 pounds in 3 months, if that was one of my clients, I'd be disgusted with them. I was like, motherfucker, you ain't even trying. Because it doesn't sound that impressive. Until you remember, they did not give them any fucking instructions. They had no plan. All they had to do was track their calories. If you want to improve at anything, all you have to do is start tracking it. And what happens is people become more mindful of what they eat and they start to actually see how many calories they're eating each day. My girlfriend, she started tracking her calories and she couldn't believe how many calories she was getting each day. I've seen this with tons of clients. They have no idea how many calories they're getting each day. They think they're eating healthy. Oh, I eat healthy, I eat good, I eat this. And then when we start actually tracking, they're eating way more calories than they think they are. You have to start tracking. For every pound of fat you want to lose, you have to burn 3,500 calories. Let's put that in perspective. If you were to burn an extra 500 calories per day for 7 days a week, at the end of the 7 days, that's going to equal 3,500. You can lose a pound of fat a week and you can take that up, right? If you put yourself in 1,000 calorie deficit every day, which is not extreme, you'll burn 2 pounds, right? 2 pounds of fat per week is like normal, totally fine. It's normal, right? You have to burn 7,000 calories in order to do that. If you're not tracking, you have no idea what you're doing. So we need to start tracking both the calories we consume and we want to get an estimate of how many calories we're burning. The way we get an estimate of how many calories we're burning is we wear some sort of fitness tracker. I use the Oura Ring to track how many calories I burn each day, my total caloric expenditure per day. You can also do it with an Apple Watch, Fitbit, a Whoop. They're fine devices for that. Now, they're not 100% accurate, but it will give us a good estimate. And then when you start tracking it, what you want to do is you want to start tracking your calories. And what I do is I use a spreadsheet. Okay, so how many calories should you get each day? Take your body weight in pounds, multiply that by 10. It's aggressive, but that's how many calories you should get. Don't go over that. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. Boom, you're trying to get ripped. Boom. All right, so we're going to get 2,000 pounds per day, 2,000 pounds per day. Now that's probably enough to get you in a deficit right there, but we're going to take it up a notch later when I give you some more tips. Now, how many calories you're going to burn? We're not even going to get too crazy aggressive, right? We're going to say 3,000, which is not like insane. You know what? Let's say less. Let's say you a lazy motherfucker, right? And you can, if you have an Apple Watch, this data will show up in your health app. If you have the Whoop, it's gonna show up in the Whoop app. Right, this total calories per day, not just calories while you're working out. This is very important. Total calories, you gotta wear it 24 hours a day. I never take my ring off. I wear it when I'm working out. I wear it in the gym. I wear it in the plane. I wear it when I'm having sex. So it's always on. We run a 500 calorie deficit each day, right? Boom, 3,500 calories. We should lose a pound of fat per week with that. Now you can alter this by changing the variables, right? We're gonna talk about how you can burn more calories per day later on in this. But this is the baseline. And the important thing is you track it, right? So I have a spreadsheet like this. It's called the Victory Vision Planner. The link is in the description, where you can plan like all your goals. And there's a habit tracker in there. And in the habit tracker section is a place where you can put your calories that you burn each day. So that's step one, tracking your calories each day. Then two is we're going to increase the cardio. Before I get into the options of cardio, it's important you understand that cardio alone is not enough. The diet is more important than the cardio. I've helped people lose weight without doing any cardio. We just kept their calories low enough. However, you're trying to get as ripped as possible by summer, so we're gonna actually increase the cardio to make sure this happens, right? Now you have some options. If you don't have a lot of time, you can do what's called high intensity interval training or HIIT cardio. You do short workouts, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even less. They're intervals. So you go super hard for 30 seconds to a minute, rest for 30 seconds to a minute. Not rest, but then you light work for 30 seconds or a minute. If you want to know some good options on HIIT cardio workouts, you can check my YouTube. Just search Brandon Carter, HIIT cardio, right? Matter of fact, you should try this. I challenge all of you guys to do this. So this is this one right here. This is a 4-minute workout, but it's so difficult. This is me and White Boy Brian. We did this. We thought, yeah, we got this. We came up with this workout because we're both trainers, and it's so intense. Look what we're doing by the end. Look at this by the end. Is it over? We were fucking dying. I could probably do it now because I'm more trained, but this is so difficult. This is the most difficult exercise workout I've ever seen. All right, try that one if you only got 4 minutes. Or I have other 15-minute workouts, 25-minute workouts, tons of them. And they all have like millions of views. People love them. The beauty of HIIT cardio is even though it's a short duration of training, you start burning more calories after it because your heart rate is elevated. So you burn calories even after the workout. Now, I stopped doing this as much because now I'm old. I was 32 when I made that video, right? Now I'm 42 and the joints ain't the same. Father Time is undefeated. So now I do slow cardio. So what I do is I just get on, I like the elliptical machine, the exercise bike. I have several of those in the house or just walking. But the cool thing about slower cardio is I can do it for longer and I can do other shit while I'm doing it. So I have a few desk bikes in the crib. So it's a bike with a desk attached to it. I can work while I'm at the desk bike or dike. While I'm on the dike, I could actually be doing like slow cardio while I'm working. So I can do other shit. If you're doing HIIT cardio, you're only doing HIIT cardio. That's where the trade-off is. The reason I like slow cardio because I can do it throughout the day and I can do it for long periods of time. And I can burn more calories throughout the day. So you want to make sure you're burning more total calories throughout the day, not just when you're working out or not when you're in the gym. The reason why you want to do it is something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But when I'm cutting, I'm always looking for additional ways to burn more calories throughout the day. Whether it's walking more, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. If you're parking somewhere, get a parking spot that's far, get some extra steps in. Go for a walk with your kids. You can walk your dog. You can walk your girlfriend. You just always want to look for more ways to burn calories throughout the day. The desk bike is a cheat code for me. Because I have a desk bike, I'm able to burn, when I'm really focused on cutting, I burn between 3,500 and 4,000 calories total per day. That's because it's like hours of slowly pedaling, right? While I'm working, while I'm doing other shit. Especially if you sit down all day, this is very important. It's something that will help you. If you don't want to do any of that, just walk. Go for walks. Go for a 30-minute, hour walks a few times a day. Walking is great exercise because you burn more calories, but you also will retain more muscle because you're not burning off glycogen. You're not really working the muscles a lot, right? So you want to aim for every day, at least 20K steps if you're serious about getting really ripped, right? You probably won't need to do additional cardio throughout the day. You can, but 20K steps per day is fantastic. Now let's put that into the stop being a fat ass. Let's say we're burning like way more calories. Let's say we stepping this up, right? We burn an extra 1,000 calories based off what I just told you before, which is not unreasonable. It's not crazy. But the key to burning this many calories is not try to do it all in one session. You want to use non-exercise activity thermogenesis, meaning you want to burn these calories throughout the day. So while you're doing other shit, just think everything you're doing, think, how can I burn more calories doing this? You play with your kids, get active with them, start running around with the kids. Don't just sit down on the bench like the fat dads. If you're with your girlfriend, do some shit where y'all got to walk more. Take her to an amusement park. Take her to a museum where y'all got to walk around, right? Don't just go to the movies or the dinner. Go somewhere where you have to be active, right? You know what I'm saying? If y'all having sex, man, don't let her get on top. You can do HIIT cardio in her vagina. You're not gonna burn enough to really take it to that level in one cardio session. For example, the average person only burns 100 calories if they run a mile, right? 100 calories, that's nothing, man. It's like a banana, a handful of nuts is more than 100 calories. You gotta get tons of cardio throughout the day. And the only way to do that is to bake it into your lifestyle so you're burning more calories all day long. Now look at this guy burns an extra 1,000 calories. Boom, an extra 1,000 calories on top of what he's already doing. Now he's burning, it's like 3 pounds of fat, right? That's per week. It's not crazy. Now, step 3 is you want to keep as much muscle as possible, right? You don't want to lose muscle while you're doing this. There's a few things you need to do to make sure you retain as much muscle as possible. Number 1, you have to lift heavy. Honestly, when I'm cutting, I might take my reps down to like 6 or 8 and I lift heavy, right? So it should be impossible for me to do more than 8. And that's going to encourage your body to retain more muscle because you're showing it that it needs it. You're using it. It's kind of contrary to a lot of advice you'll hear. If this is your first year working out, you will be able to build muscle during the cut, but only if it's your first year working out. After that, if you've been training for more than a year, like for real, this is not muscle building time, right? I have a whole nother video on how to build muscle and burn fat simultaneously, and watch that video for more insight. But if you've been training for longer than a year, you're not going to build muscle this time. It's okay. We're not trying to build muscle right now. We're trying to retain as much as possible. Everybody loses some muscle on a cut. We want to just mitigate that as much as possible. Very first thing, we have to lift heavy. The next thing we need to do, this is where it gets difficult. We want to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I know that, there's lots of studies saying that you don't need that much protein. You only need about 0.7 or 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I believe all that stuff. I'm not trying to say that's not real. What I am saying is that those studies were done by fucking scientists, and they were done in perfect conditions. They had to have the conditions perfect for it to be accurate. No matter how accurately you're tracking, it won't be as 100% accurate for us because the FDA allows food labels to be off by 20% in any directions. So if you're eating something and it says 10 grams of protein, because of the FDA allows labels to be 20% wrong, it might only be 8 grams of protein. It might be 12, you don't know. So we want to err on the side of caution to make up for the potential 20% that the labels may be wrong. I'd rather you have more protein than you need than not enough. Because if you don't get enough, you will lose more muscle. You don't live in the same laboratory conditions that those studies were made in. We live in the fucking real world, not a fucking lab. All right, so we want to lift heavy, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you do that, you should be able to retain a significant amount of muscle, and you're going to get ripped. You're going to get ripped as hell. That's going to be more difficult than normal because you got to keep your calories so low. So you're going to be eating high protein. I like to do the ketogenic diet. You don't have to do keto. But one of the reasons you might find keto effective here is because there's 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. We got to keep the protein high. In order to keep the calories low, we have to either cut the fat or the carbohydrates or a combination of them. The reason you might want to consider cutting the carbohydrates, some people cut the fat, whatever. Problem with cutting the fat is it makes the food gross, right? Imagine you eating a potato, you can't put butter on it, or you got to eat pasta with no sauce. Fucking gross. The flavor comes from the fat. This may be a personal thing. It tastes better. Also, fat is more satiating, meaning you will be less hungry if you consume more fat. However, carbs actually spike the hunger hormone ghrelin and leptin, right? So they are addictive, especially simple carbohydrates like sugars. There have been studies that show that sugar can be as addictive as certain class A narcotics. You could eat the carbs, but now you got to fight cravings. If your fat is high and your protein is high, it's known to lower hunger. And there's studies that show that people who follow the ketogenic diet, it actually blunts hunger. You can do whatever you want. It's just a suggestion. You don't need carbohydrates to live. You do need fat and protein to live. There's essential amino acids, which are protein, essential fatty acids, which are fats. There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. It's not a thing. I still eat vegetables, like green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, shit of that nature. And that way I still get the fiber as well. All right, so now I'm getting fiber, which is also filling, and I'm getting fat, which is filling. It's just a suggestion. All right, you can do whatever you want. I've seen people get ripped eating tons of carbohydrates and keeping the fat low. You got to cut one of them. Here's the bonus tip. No cheat meals during this time. I'm not saying this because the cheat meals will negatively affect your process, your progress. It's what you do habitually that counts. So if you fall off once, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because it might not be just once. After a cheat meal, we've all had this. Have you noticed that you crave the foods that you cheated with the next day? Because you probably cheated with the shit you love the most tasty foods, right? And it spikes dopamine, and now your body wants it the next day. However, if you would just stay the path, you get used to it and all those cravings will go away. I noticed this when I had my last cheat meal in 2023. I just noticed for almost a week after that, I was fighting cravings and I had to use discipline not to cheat again. But after a while, those cravings went away. I don't need discipline to stick to my diet anymore. That's because abstinence is easier than moderation. This actually goes for anything you're trying to abstain from. Abstinence is easier than moderation. So if you just fully abstain from it, after a while, the cravings will go away. I'm telling you, this makes it so much easier. I used to be a big proponent of cheat meals. I used to do a big cheat meal every week. I've had epic ones. I've had videos about it. This is a new thing I discovered. When I quit smoking cigarettes, cold turkey, lost a craving. But drinking alcohol like 10 years ago, cold turkey, I have no cravings. I can be around people that are drinking, but you have to get there. If I was drinking every once in a while, I would still have the cravings. You also got to remember the contrast. You ever go somewhere that's real hot and then you go into the air conditioning and then it's like fucking cold. Then you get used to the coldness of the air conditioning and it's normal. Then you go back outside, it's like it's almost hotter, right? If you would have stayed in the heat, you would have acclimated to it and it would have been okay. But the contrast made it seem worse. That's what happens when you have a cheat meal. You eat this delicious food, then you go back to the shit you were eating before to get ripped. It's gonna be worse for you. It's with anything. If you get fucking drunk, you're trying to quit drinking, you get fucking drunk one night, and you have to go out, I'm not gonna drink again. It's gonna seem less fun than when you were drinking because of the contrast. You trick your brain into not liking it anymore. It's like, I'm going to a Heat game tonight. I'm gonna sit courtside. What do you think it's gonna be like if I have to sit, if the next game I go to, I'm in the fucking stands? But if I was in the stands before, then I go to the fucking courtside, is gonna be better, right? And that's the problem with cheat days. It makes it more difficult for you to stay consistent. Hey, let's say you get in great shape and you want to start helping other people get in shape. A lot of people do that. That's why one of the reasons I started training. I have a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training, and it'll show you how you can start your own online fitness business, even if you don't have a big following, even if you're not certified, even if you don't have a lot of experience. Click the link in the description, you can get it, and it'll really give you the game on how to grow your online fitness business. And if you follow all the steps in this, you can have a good before and after, and you can use that as marketing to get your first clients. This way you can get ripped and you can turn it into a business. I think you'll be more motivated to stick to the plan if you know you'll be able to make money off of it. That sounds interesting. You download the free ebook, 10 Commandments of Online Training. It'll give you the whole game on how to be an online trainer, all right?